This is not your normal discussion where we talk about the hard topics uncensored and unfiltered. This is not your normal discussion where we talk about the hard topics uncensored and unfiltered. This is not your normal discussion.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Not Your Normal Discussion. I am your host, Queen Pedii.
Y'all, Nina.
Tryst, wishing you a kiss of bliss.
Boy Samurai with two eyes.
Your boy Kenny.
All right, and we have a returning special guest, Alleyn Winchester. Yay!
Hey!
Yes.
Good to be back.
Yes, we love having you.
I love being here.
So I hope everybody had a great week, a great weekend. I didn't do much. I slept a lot. And yesterday I got my infusion of Remicade. And I mean, it's for rheumatoid arthritis and hidradenitis suppurativa. So yeah.
Well, I had a tooth pulled out and my mouth hurts. Next.
Well, this weekend we did again the food tabling and also helped somebody who was overdosing, but I'll probably get into that a little bit more during the bystander effect section. But yeah, interesting weekend.
I'm highly irritated right now, so I'm good. It's been an irritating week. That's what I'm gonna say right now.
So
my week is right now is shitty. Well, the last day, well, Friday, I'll be in New York City. Got like 3 models to shoot. Should be fantastic. Hopefully no one respond back to me. Hopefully they respond back to me later. But other than that, I'm taking it easy, you know.
I have a job now.
hey.
So I have a day job because, books aren't making a lot yet. It's very labor intensive. So I work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Which is why I was like, I would love to come back, but I don't know how. Which is why I'm grateful you guys made time for me because I love coming and talking with all of you. This is a great podcast. I still talk you up to people all the time. But like I said, I do deliveries for like solid wood furniture. I put furniture together. Like, yeah. And I'm like, they have me at part-time because they know I'm an author. I kid you not, I got the job and then Artemis published the next week. So, but yeah, balance. Oh my goodness. Yes, it is a balancing game right now for me. I'm very grateful though. Finally got my first 5-star review. We're just working on building a platform and building my Patreon, things like that. I'm grateful, busy and grateful.
Awesome. All right. So our topics for today will be the history of pride, representation in storytelling, the Ohio Republicans pushing through a bill banning trans students from participating in sports in high school and college, and possibly other grades. California women who were jailed for having stillbirths. Why is it when something happens that people are quick to grab a camera and record instead of helping? And what is your definition of a good friend? And would you consider yourself as a good friend? So let's hear a word from our sponsors.
Artemis of the Dodecatheon is a fantastical whirlwind of action, strong characters, mystery quests, and a lot of drama. 4.9 stars on Inkit. Purchase it on Amazon today. A to Z Creations is a Black woman-owned business that creates customized items such as rolling trays, clothing, tumblers, glasses, bags, jewelry, and more.
All right, guys. So if you guys don't know, June is Pride Month, and a lot of people do not know the history of why we celebrate Pride and why we celebrate it in June. So back in 1969, there were laws saying that you couldn't serve alcohol to gay people at all. And Stonewall Inn was bought by a mafia person. I don't know if it was a member or whatever, but it was bought for them to turn into a gay club so that they could be served alcohol, they could dance, they could, just enjoy themselves and be free. So they allowed some drag queens to come in. They allowed lesbians to come in, even though at first it was just mainly for gay men. So the police would actually raid like all of the gay clubs because I'm not going to say being gay was illegal, but it kind of was because they saw it as like a mental disorder. So one night during a raid, so this has been disputed, but Marsha P. Johnson was said to have thrown a shot glass, Lord, at the wall, and they call it the shot glass heard around the world. So these incidents of these raids, because they raided it over, I believe, a week, they're called the Stonewall riots. And that is actually what Pride Month is actually commemorating, are the riots. So Marsha P. Johnson said that she didn't technically, I guess I can say because she was trans. She said that she didn't throw the shot glass, but something about dropping a brick and hitting a police car and shattering the windshield. That is what Marsha said, because she said by the time she actually got to the Stonewall Inn, she said that the riots were already happening. Yeah, the riots was already happening. So we ever since the riots and stuff, they have been doing parades to commemorate, like I said, Stonewall. So sadly, Marsha P. Johnson was found in a river in 1992 after a gay pride parade. They say that she committed suicide, but that's not true. They said that she had a wound in the back of her head, so somebody actually killed her, and someone actually confessed and said that they killed her, but it was ignored. So sad, but thank you, Marsha, for standing up and helping people and being, an advocate for HIV/AIDS as well. Just, doing what you had to do. But anybody else want to add to this?
I know that a lot of times when people do come out, like I have a friend, she can't come out to her family because they're Catholics, and she's afraid if she does, then she's gonna be disowned and kicked out of the house for her daughter. So she does not say nothing. But if you're here, you would know she's in the community because the way she acts, who she likes. That girl's hot. Yeah, I was like, girl, we know your parents. I think her family knows. But I think her family doesn't want to discuss it. And I told her, I said, maybe they were waiting for you to come out instead of just, because there's no way they don't know. Like, they have to be completely blind. And she's like, no, they might have a hint. And I was like, all you gotta do is look at your bookshelf. There's nothing but lesbian and gay books up there that you want to want. You want to read. They can't, really. And she's like, I don't know if I'm afraid. So I'm like, dang it. But it's just sad that this still at this point, in time that people can do that. Like my daughter, she came to me. She goes, "Mom, bye," and I don't want to be in a single relationship. I want to be poly, and I'm like, "Hey, more power to you." But if you do change your mind, I'm still here. You know, because she is still a bit young. But I don't want to discourage her from who she is at this moment. So if she thinks she's bisexual, you are bisexual. The end. If you want to be a lesbian, you can be a lesbian. That's how I feel with all my kids. I'm like, I don't care who you love or who you are. You just better do your best in school. And they better be a good person, because I don't care if they're female, male, trans. I will beat their ass if they hurt you. That's enough for me. Jeez.
So I like to I read about like a lot of celebrities and things in the media. Trying to get a hands of this situation. I have difficulty, but not really. But so Angela Jolene and Brad Pitt daughter, which I thought it was a boy the whole time, but it was a girl. And people was talking about her because they said she was a bad parent because letting her daughter want to become a boy, right? But she did a whole transfer, whereas though she went through a phase where though she wanted to be a boy. Let her be like an experiment, which her mom didn't stop her from doing. But as she got older,
I thought she was just like a little tomboy.
She changed. I didn't even know they had a daughter.
Just a tomboy.
But yeah, that's she might change in the future, which she's gonna support her daughter. But now her daughter wears dresses, more girly. But if she do have to want to dress as a boy, she can. But I respect Angela Jolie's decision. She didn't make her daughter feel as though like, oh, you got to be this, or you got that. She let her experiment and let her learn what you really wanted to be. There's some kids who actually do it, and then in the future they regret. You get what I'm saying? So it's easier to let the kid learn as they get older. You never know. My
son likes to wear a dress every once in a while, and he says he's a Princess Jacqueline.
But the only thing she does is she do wear dresses, but she still wear men like sneakers. She still wear her sneakers. She didn't fully wear heels, but she's wearing every time she's wearing a dress, she's wearing sneakers. Or shorts or underneath it. Like
when I saw her with the dress when she had heels on.
No, she had a yellow and white, looked like Vans, like a kind of like Vans, something like that. One of the pictures she had on.
Oh, was that like a regular dress? Not like when she's on the red carpet.
Yeah, it's like a regular dress, but it's something.
I do that. That ain't nothing.
I just respect him. Her decision.
Sneakers are a lot more comfortable than heels.
Hell yeah.
Faster.
Charlie, you have no idea. Well, of course he don't know because he don't wear heels.
It depends on the heel inch.
I mean, a kitten heel might be okay. Like if because it's just a little, but nah.
You twist your ankle running in that.
But a kitten heel.
Yep. You get in the wrong.
Running a kitten heel. I don't know what to tell you. Why are we talking about kitten heels? Anybody else? Jay, go ahead.
I was gonna say November 2nd, 1969. Day it kicked off. I have a mixed history with Pride Month, which is why I thought it was interesting that I got invited. I was like, oh, okay, this is the universe challenging me to actually deal with this. So this is one of the biggest reasons why my topic that I want to talk about is pride is important. We're supposed to be remembering the path we've walked to get to this point, but we're also supposed to be moving forward. We're not supposed to be staying where we were. So that's what Pride Month means to me. I don't necessarily always wear like the rainbows and things like that. Then again, rainbow means something very different to me. But I mean, the original Pride flag was 8 colors, so it had the pink in there. And I don't see those anywhere, so I'm kind of like, well, that's not the Pride flag, but okay. Also, I do know that there's a lot of divisiveness inside the community too, which is why my wife and I don't go to Pride parades. We've actually, I tried to take her to one and I instantly regretted it and we left. Yeah, but this is part of why we're human first, and that's the point of Pride. We're supposed to be showing human beings, and this is an aspect of their life that should be celebrated, not suppressed. Yeah. And this month is supposed to be where we celebrate these differences and how all of us are human at the end of the day, but we all have our own paths that we walk. We're all walking the same way. But we have different things along our path. We have different vehicles we're taking. Hence why I told you the writer's journey, Tryst. We all take it differently. We're all taking the same road, but we take it in our own way. Some of us are walking. Some of us are in a car. Some of us are in a motorcycle. Some of us have multiple people in our car. Some of us are just going it on our own. I happen to think that the journey that we're all taking is a beautiful one and should be celebrated. And that's my connection to Pride Month. I actually had to reflect on this yesterday. I had to think about it and I went, no, it's the human experience. And that is something that we do celebrate. So I am proud of Pride Month. I just I wish it would be more of a celebration of the human experience, just another facet of it. That's how I feel.
Yeah. I like how you put that because there is often, even in the LGBTQ community, there is also the either ignoring or suppression or erasure of like Black queer voices where, you know, certain people might be prioritized over others. And it's like true solidarity requires all of us, like you said, considering each other's life experiences and fighting and advocating for each other. So while I've never been to a Pride parade because I don't know if my straight ass would just be taking up space and soaking up all the energy, and you know, even as an ally and all that, I do love Pride in the sense of it being a celebration, it being a symbol of activism and advocacy, and of resistance to like just generations of bigotry and what we see now with ever approaching fascism. So I know for me, with some of the ways I've grown up and people that I've known and everything like that, I probably couldn't convince my own family of this, but I know that for me, I've come to the point where I support gay and trans rights, not in spite of like my Christianity or me being cis and straight and all that, but because of like my Christianity, because of my appreciation for human rights movements and for the queer friends that I've had that have taught me so much, and for queer like radical political literature and theories that like expand your thinking of like what it means to be human and what it means to be advocates for each other and for yourself. And then also just in the face of all the shit that we're seeing being churned up in the world with some of the topics we're discussing today, some topics we discussed in the past, like we could really be on the verge of some like real worldwide fascist bullshit. And it's gonna take us enjoying and advocating and stepping up for each other to really combat that and have the world that we want to be at peace in.
All right. Glenn, do you have anything you want to add real quick? We got 2 minutes.
I'm not gonna say much because I'm gonna try to be respectful and nice. All I'm gonna say is at the end of the day, everybody has a choice. They should be able to celebrate it in freedom of judgment. And I will respectfully leave that.
All right, thank you. All right, so let's go to our first commercial break.
Artemis of the Dodecatheon is a fantastical whirlwind of action, strong characters, mystery quests, and a lot of drama. 4.9 stars on Inkit. Purchase it on Amazon today.
Alrighty. Well, thank you again for having me come back. It's always a pleasure to be here with all of you. I love your inquisitive minds. I have been watching with your new host here. It's been interesting. I actually play the podcast at work. But within the spirit of Pride Month, there's something that's actually been kind of in my thoughts lately, especially with a lot of other YouTube podcasts and YouTubers. This whole concept of representation in storytelling. We want to see more than just one blanket thing when we watch movies or when we see TV shows or read books. Especially, we understand what that's like. You look at a screen and you see just one blanket thing there. So one of the biggest things that I've noticed is we've got the Rings of Power that's coming out on Amazon. A lot of controversy has been spinning up about it. And I've been actually really interested in it because as an author, this means a lot to me. The issue that we're facing right now is, yes, they did put a lot more diversity into the show. However, inside the lore, this takes place in a niche part of the world. There's actually a lot more to the world of Middle Earth. However, they're trying to just mesh a lot into this one spot where there is more diversity that you could be playing with, but because they did not bother to look into the lore, they only looked at this one thing over here and thought, I don't like that this isn't here. They decided to rewrite it. This is where the fandom is really split. And as a storyteller myself who works on world building, I create whole religions inside my worlds. I create people, diversity, things like that. This does matter to me in a matter of keeping in line with what is the core value of the story. But one thing I've noticed, and it really does concern me that a lot of critics are talking about is, yes, we want representation. However, all people are doing is subverting what's already been written instead of writing something new. And one of the things that as a storyteller that really inspired me to be one was I am a very niche person. I'm biracial. I'm transgender. I'm demi-romantic. I'm attracted to women, but I also happen to find men appealing. So I am on the bisexual vibe there. I've got a lot going into who I am. I'm not monotheistic. I'm an omniist. So where am I going to find something that is exactly that on the screen? You're not going to find it. And as a storyteller, my mission is to not necessarily give you yourself in the story. I'm going to present you a human experience that you can identify with. Now, representation doesn't necessarily have to be a cookie cutter character that everybody, like the world has how many billions of people in it? There's not enough space in a story to fill every single person. However, like I said, we are all walking the same road together. So we're all experiencing similar things. We all go through some kind of a struggle. There's a core value to the human experience of struggle, overcoming that struggle and becoming stronger for it. And that's something that I want to bring. Now, there's different aspects. Oh, goodness gracious. You guys read Artemis of the Dodecatheon. I have a whole world. This takes place over the entire planet. Yes, you're seeing stuff that's going on in Europe, but there's characters that you're going to meet that are from the Middle East, that are from the old world, as they call it, which is what used to be the new world, the Americas. You're going to see characters from there. You're going to see characters from Africa. You're going to see people that came from Asia. They're all condensing down into this world to how do we all live together? That's my goal as a storyteller. And I wanted to bring this topic to you guys because I want to know, when you see stuff in media, when you read things in books, are you looking for yourself or are you looking for a story that like grabs you and it not necessarily has you specifically in it, but you want to get to know a character? Like, I'm really curious how you guys feel about that. As a storyteller, I'm always looking for feedback. So I wanted to bring this to your attention and see what you guys thought.
So I'll say I look for both. That's why I was actually really glad when I came upon the Logo channel. And I was able to see like the representations of different shows. Like you had the RuPaul, you had what's it called? I used to watch this show like religiously. I think it's like Abraham. I can't remember what the show was, but it ran for a very long time. And it was about Black queer people. I cannot remember what it's called. But and then when they came out with Pose, that, you know, seeing the representation in that, like so many different elements, it's really like good to see, and for it to not just be on Logo, you know, for it to be on TNT. I believe it was TNT or TBS, one of the two. It was it was on one of those channels, but I used to watch it on Hulu. But yeah, so to see that is like really good, because like you can see not only yourself, but, you know, other people as well. So it's good.
Yeah, for me, I'm very, like, on one hand, like you just mentioned Queen Pedii, I love Pose. I think like Grace Randolph from Beyond the Trailer, she did a video a while back talking about the importance of, if you're going to like Black wash characters, it makes sense doing it with minor characters, but of course the fandom is gonna feel away if you do it with like major characters, like Superman's Black all of a sudden. While it makes sense in one context, it's like that nigga would have been arrested. He would be harassed constantly. Batman was Black, he'd be harassed constantly. There would be no working with the police. And but at the same time too, like for example, The Boys, that the new season that just dropped, I think they do there's a lot of gore, there's a lot of graphicness, there's a lot of things that kind of do, like you could say is like just playing out certain things, but at the same time, they do a great job talking about politics, talking about issues of representation and like diversity. They play with what other franchises mess up with, where the problem with a lot of this forced diversity is more so just that it's pandering, it's tokenism, and so the characters don't feel real. The characters just feel like an add-on that where no real thought is, and so you please no one. The people who you want to watch for diversity, they're not happy with the representation, and the people who are like, oh, you're just forcing diversity, you're giving them examples to like play with. So I would love to see more shows that actually tackle issues in creative ways, but like represent those characters like real beings, because that's what we want to see. That goes beyond representation. That like we connect on a human level, but then also do talk about those real things that happen in a creative way in your own world.
Yeah. Who wants to go next?
So I like to see different characters, so they don't exactly have to be me, or have, because I see, like, it depends on what character it is. I can see just a little bit myself. So once I can see a tiny bit, I'm good. And so my biggest thing is, so if the story is well written and it's more realistic, then I would enjoy it no matter what. Lately, the last season of Grey's Anatomy, which I really love, not great, but her sister Shepherd actually was had a relationship with somebody who is non-binary. So and you can see like how it developed. It wasn't like, oh, here, boom, she's gonna be with this person now. Because throughout the season, all the seasons, you can tell that Shepherd was looking for that. Amelia was looking for that one love, and she loved men and female and everybody in between. And she finally got with this person. So I like how they had that. And then what is his name? The one with the red head that was a vet on the show, or he's still on the show. His son loved to wear dresses, and the mother was confused. It was like, what am I doing wrong? He is still wearing dresses, and the dad's like, just let him be. He might grow out of it. He might not. It might be who he is, but just, and she's like, I don't like him. No, he needs to stop. We need to cut his hair. We need to change him. He's a boy. He's a boy. And then, of course, the child came out and was like, I'm a girl. And that really kind of like flipped the mom off. So it's an actual realistic scenario. And I enjoyed how they took it. The mom could not understand, so they went to the therapist and they talked it out. Like, hey, you know, how do I deal with this? I don't know how to deal with it. How do I deal with it? And that's like, if he wants to wear dresses, if he wants long hair, if he wants his hair in a ponytail, let him. He's young. He's learning.
Yeah.
And that's what I think storytelling is telling a story to, sometimes there's a lesson behind it, sometimes to help you understand something that you don't know, but you would never get in that scenario. And it kind of just, okay, so if this happens, then I know kind of how to handle it. So that's it for me. It's about the story, the characters. If it's well written, I would love to read it. That's why I like your book.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Glenn, do you have anything?
I love the art of storytelling, good storytelling. I'm not much of a reader, unfortunately, but I love movies. And story. I'm one of those that I'm particular. So I need a good story. Like, it has to make sense to me. It has to connect. I love just like a good author, a good movie creator. What's the word for it? A director, a good director know how to just in every way, kind of like Mina was saying, in just the you're able to gather the emotions. You're able to see the actions, like them moving a certain way. So oh, they like them, or they about to get close to kissing. You can feel that emotion. I recently just saw Top Gun. Oh my Lord. That movie, just the Top Gun. The Top Gun came out with a new movie.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, Maverick.
Yeah,
Top Gun Maverick.
And it's pretty much a sequel of the first one. And I'm gonna talk about it more in my review of it, but oh my Lord, it's just the way that they were able to capture with the new technology in the jet, outside the jets, the whole storyline is what I'm talking about putting a really good story together and making it to where at the end you're like, wow, like this is a piece of art. And yeah, that's what I got for you.
All right. Kenny, do you have anything to add?
Just like Glenn is, I'm not really a big reader. Not anymore. I used to love reading. I just find some books I felt uninteresting because I'm more of like art, like how it started with like past, present, future. I'm like more into deep depth like that. Like, for instance, like I like horror stuff. I like suspense. I like it. Like, I love watching Dexter. Like, happened with Dexter. You know what I'm saying? He was, I think he was adopted. I'm not sure he was adopted or his adopted sister, whatever the case might be. They didn't know who he was, but he was a really good killer, which that shit got my attention. So good. How the hell he can hide that and not know, no one knows it. And then when his sister finds out, it was like, woo, I thought you was just loving, caring brother. You was a cop knight. Now you made him smarter because now he's a killer and he know how to hide his things. So damn, how did he get caught? So you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh shit, he gonna chop somebody's head off. Who will find out? No one never knows. Like, like stuff get like that. And I do not like the stuff that say to be continued and takes forever to come out with a new episode. That gets me.
Like, oh my God, I hate that.
Like, to be continued. And then you waited like, when is coming out? Thursday come? Okay, next week Thursday. Come on.
Yeah.
Strive to get that. And it don't lose my attention because I go right back, watch it from day one, and catch up, and go right back. It's just I just love it because they go to like details, you know. Some books, some authors, they write things and make movies, and it's like, okay, when is it gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Oh, this shit is boring. When is it gonna happen? You know? So
Yeah.
that's how I am. Like, that's just me. Like, some people call me like, look at me weird and strange, like, oh damn, you like serial and stuff? Like, I like serial killer stuff. Don't get me wrong. I like to know what's in their head, what made them become a serial killer. Like, you know, like you got the best of the world, gave to you, handed everything, but now you turn out to kill people. What made you, what screw was missing in your brain that made you become a killer? I want to see that. Like, I want to sit there. I want to be in your head. If you're dark, I want to be as dark as you. I want to understand what happened, you know? That's just me. And everybody look at me weird, like, oh damn, like they look at me like I got problems. I ain't got problems. It's fascinating. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm loving it. All right. We're going to go to our next commercial break.
Artemis of the Dodecatheon is a fantastical whirlwind of action, strong characters, mystery quests, and a lot of drama. 4.9 stars on Inkit. Purchase it on Amazon today.
So for our next topic, we're talking about how in Ohio, the House Republicans have passed a bill that is actually banning all transgender students from playing not just in high school, but also in college sports in their state. On top of requiring genital exams and an analysis of their testosterone levels and even their genetic makeup from their doctors if like someone thinks they're trans. So things are getting spooky. It's giving real Salem witch trial vibes, real inspect the Princess's hymen to see if she's still a virgin type of vibes. And while this bill isn't law yet, it still has to go through Ohio State Senate and then be signed into law once they're back from summer recess. But it was voted on the first day of Pride Month, you know, very disrespectfully. And think about how sexually insecure and how obsessed with genitals of children, mind you, that they must be, and the power transphobia that's brooding in this country for them to want to basically erase privacy rights. Because think about it, they can do this to children. What's to stop them from examining your genetic makeup for whatever reason? And like, this is not something that just is out the blue either. Like, I don't know if you guys remember that South African track star, like two-time champion, Caster Semenya, where they were basically saying she has to undergo invasive medical procedures to lower her naturally high testosterone levels, even though she's a cisgender woman, because they're like, oh, she has an unfair advantage. She's like, oh, she can't, like, imagine if we did that same thing with basketball in the NBA, where it's like, oh, well, tall niggas have an unfair advantage. So past like 6 foot, you can't play the sport would be very different. Like the things we enjoy would be very different. But when it comes to like, not even just trans people, but the suspicion of trans, because that's what it is. It could be basically anyone. If some doctor, if some school official, the lunch lady, just a parent who's like, is that child conforming to gender binaries enough for my liking? I think they're trans. We need to see what's in their pants. Like, that's crazy energy. And it's not just limited to sports. I don't know if you guys heard about CPAC, like the conservative convention that happened. Last month, they had it in Hungary. And Viktor Orban, he basically was giving a speech to like world leaders in Europe and America, like Donald Trump was there, Tucker Carlson was there. And it was a speech basically about controlling the media and basically this other version of the great replacement theory, but for like gender, for like sexual diversity. And they had their own version of like basically the Don't Say Gay bill, where they've outlawed LGBT like media, education, and it being discussed in public spaces. And this year he wants to basically expel all the LGBT teachers as well. And he's basically saying this is like something other world leaders need to do. So it's not just a matter of, oh, I don't know how I feel about trans. It's like if we don't step up and like combat this type of things that's happening across our country and across the world, we're looking at the potential of a global like fascist movement that's scapegoating like trans and LGBT people as a way to like buy into people's fear of like changing everything. But that's just my opinion. What do y'all think?
So I think it's very interesting that they are so very concerned about, like you said, children's genitals, but they are not concerned enough about their lives and banning guns. Well, not banning guns, but, gun control. It's real interesting because, like, who cares? I don't understand why they care about transgender so much, because are they like doing anything to your life? Like what does a child who is identifying as a female or a male have to do with your life? They don't affect you in any way. They're not affecting your kids. They're not, it just bugs me that they're so hell bent on keeping like them back. And, even with the Texas topic that we had last season about how, they're saying, oh, well, you can't, have your kids transition and giving them the medicine and the hormones and stuff like that. Like, y'all are so concerned about the wrong things. You got kids dying. You got people dying. You got grandmas dying. But you're worried about genitals. I'm done.
Isn't that against the HIPAA to for a doctor to give out that kind of information?
Yes.
It would be, but they're trying to change that.
No,
but it's still HIPAA, yeah, because like it has nothing to do with a crime. It's not a crime to want to be on a sports team.
It's not, but with this bill, if it passed into law, they said it would take precedence over all other regulations that they have. So they're saying basically, fuck HIPAA. That's what I said. It's violating privacy is erasure.
HIPAA is national, isn't it?
Yeah, but
it's international.
Yeah.
International. Yeah.
So how would it go over HIPAA? The kids did not kill nobody. I mean, exactly. I little bit understand where they're coming from. Maybe a trans woman is gonna have more power, more muscle than a regular girl. Maybe that's where they're coming from, where it'd be unfair or uneven. But at the end of the day, you don't even look at no little kids junk. That's just
weird.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. Yeah, like Nina said, like this is a thing, I have to go talking about. But anyway, some people feel as though that a woman, if it comes to sports, they want a woman, a real woman, not a trans, because like Nina said, they feel as though if a man transitions to a woman, he has more strength, more power, more advantage than an ordinary woman, which is outbeaten. Just like if a woman, just like a man go to an NBA, whatever the case might be, he have more power, more, so he would dominate, or a person would dominate versus, you know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not trying to step on no toes, like this is something that I don't like. I talk about it, but then again, I don't want to see certain things or look at certain way if people look at me kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I have a hard time like talking about it or like express. But that's just how some people look at it. Like, if you want to be in a woman NBA, you got to be an official woman, no man, because you're gonna make shit ton of fucking scores. While these girls, so it's that's just how some people think. That's all,
Yeah, and I agree with you, Kenny. Me, I'm not afraid. I keep it 100 all the time, whether people like me or not. But I 100% get it. It's and I'm torn about this honestly, because on one end, I am all about people having their freedoms and doing whatever they want without judgment. I don't think we should judge anybody. But at the same time, there is a other end that has to be looked at. And this is why this is going on. Because if you were born a man, there's certain strengths and stuff that you have that someone was born a woman does not have. Now, a woman can do everything a man can do, but there is a difference. And that's why all sports have always been split. You have sports for women and you have sports for men. So there's a lot of differences when it comes to sports. There's differences when stuff are not separated yet. If I have a daughter, I don't want her going into the bathroom and someone goes in there and still has a dick. And now I have to explain to my daughter why she saw someone that has a dick. I'm keeping it real. That is a problem. So it's not about you not having your own freedoms. I understand all that, but there's a bigger picture when it comes to certain stuff that now we're gonna have to explain to people.
Yeah.
Did you see a penis?
No.
No. I need to know. I need to know because I want to know, how would she see the penis? Because girls' bathrooms have stalls, right?
You don't have that.
You don't have anything that's open.
And even with urinals, it's like when I go to the bathroom, I don't just see dudes.
Sorry, my kids have seen.
What about in school?
Jackson.
I want to know how she would have seen the dick.
What about in school? The gym?
How would she see the dick?
You're changing.
How would she see the dick?
But they're still wearing underwear.
Wait.
See the penis?
If you're in school and you're changing at the gym, it's very possible.
You said bathroom.
That's the bathroom.
I'm sorry.
Go
ahead.
I'm sorry, but so you're only going to have one kid, right? That happens to be a girl. Because I have 3, and 2 of them are girls, and they seen Jack's thing, and they don't think nothing of it. It's when we adults come and go, oh no, you saw a boy's penis. That is bad. Oh no, that's when it starts becoming bad. But if you tell them from the get-go, because my daughters knew what penis was since they were like 3. They knew what it was. They knew what it looks like. Because that's how I raised it. I don't want them to be no surprises or anything. My girls think, you want to play doctor with me? No, I know what it looks like. It does not impress me. I never had to work on that.
Yeah, it's
I agree with that to a certain extent.
Yeah,
there's a reason why stuff has been separate for years.
That's your kid too, on top of it.
Yeah, I mean,
because when you say gym, you're talking about like middle school.
Yeah. And their winkies ain't that big in middle school. Okay.
Listen, this is me.
Wait, hold on. Because we only got like 4 minutes left in this segment. I do want us to have our guests talk for a little bit. So
okay, so obviously being trans, I have feelings about this. Believe you me, when I got the list of what the topics were, I went, oh, okay, we need to be objective about this topic, Jaden. We need to be objective. So from the standpoint, what I did, I went straight to Ohio News to look into this because I'm not going to another state to find out what they're doing. There's actually an investigative reporter from Channel 5 News who's been digging into this. It's all over Twitter as well. She's been posting it in real time because not only is this the shadiest thing she's ever seen, they passed this in the 11th hour. It was not available to the public to read until 8 p.m. right before it passed. It's actually docked onto a bill that's completely unrelated, which now damages that bill, which was going to get the state out of the public schools and give more power to the teachers. Wow. Oh, yeah. There's so much shade around this entire thing. By the way, the governor said, oh, heck no. The Senate said, oh, heck no, kicked it back to the House and went, you better fix it. We're not signing it. So my thing, it's not necessarily going into play because the governor goes, this is not something we delegate. This is a organization for the sports organizations to handle. The government does not delegate anything that has to do with sports. The second half to this is I don't know what Republicans, and this is Republicans who pushed it because the Democrats are actually having a heyday over it. They're pissed. they're trying to say that literally one of the Republican representatives said a 6-foot boy is going to steal his daughter's opportunities under Title IX. In the school setting, puberty is happening. Do you know what metabolic changes are happening to a child as they're coming into maturity? No, they're not. You're talking about a grown man. You are thinking about a grown man transitioning. These are children transitioning. Yeah. And while I do have certain feelings about hormone blockers because they're not tested enough, we don't know the full scope of damage that can happen to them post-puberty. What I do think should happen is identity doesn't have anything to do with your metabolic makeup. This is your presenting. Yes, give a child the opportunity to work with the presentation part of it to see how they feel about it. The metabolic changes are going to happen regardless of what gender they turn into. But they need to be comfortable in their own skin first and foremost before they can solidify their identity. There's actually a girl on a softball team who's the only girl right now that's being labeled as a trans girl. That's who they're labeling right now. There have been a maximum of like 10 in the past like decade that have identified as trans that are identified as trans women. They're coming after. The Republicans are making it out to be like hundreds that are like robbing Title IX, that are giving an unfair advantage. And I'm like, number one, if a trans girl is undergoing hormone replacement therapy, estrogen actually is more detrimental to her body than not having it at all. They actually become at risk for a lot more health problems by being active. They have to be hyper conscious. They don't have advantages. They actually have a lot of drawbacks. They have to be very careful. They can have a heart attack if they're too active. They can escalate into osteoporosis faster. So no, there's actually not, especially when they're still in puberty.
Yeah.
There's no advantages to this. Hormone replacement therapy is dangerous as it is. Yeah. Now, where it comes into the unfair advantages, again, these are children. They haven't developed these muscles yet. And now you want to transfer this into the college level? Do you know how diverse bodies are in college? Yeah. You've got girls that stopped growing at 5 feet. You've got men who stopped growing at 5 feet now. There are a lot more diversity in heights and body shapes than we've seen in generations, just because DNA is playing around, because we have a lot more interracial couples having children. You have a lot more diversity going on just in cisgender people. We're not even talking about trans individuals yet. And then there's different types of trans individuals. You've got people who want hormones. Then you've got ones who don't. Some people never get hormones. They just get certain surgeries to augment them the way they want to look. Some never get surgery. Like, trans is an umbrella. It's not one blanket thing. And then you have the flip side of this. And this is where I'm trying to stay objective here. But my wife has polycystic ovarian disease. That means her body is pushing out more testosterone than it should. It is attacking her ovaries. It causes massive cysts, and she has enough estrogen to start pushing out facial hair all over as if she were going through puberty as a boy. Yeah. If you are going to subject girls to treatment like this, there has been a surge since the 80s. A lot of women who got pregnant in the 80s, their children, for some reason, polycystic spiked. They're thinking it had something to do with what was going metabolically with a lot of women at the time. These children, the embryonic fluid, they were marinating in something that was going on back then. There were a lot of drugs going on. There was a lot of drinking. A lot of girls got pregnant early, and these children in the 90s, a lot of them, this is where polycystic took off. We didn't talk about polycystic in previous generations. And a lot of doctors are researching it and going, oh, I'm seeing common denominators here. So now you're talking about kids who are the children of these people carrying this gene now, and you want to test their testosterone, and they can get kicked out for having high T? What?
Bad. Yeah.
So like
we have to go to our commercial break.
No, you're right. Like I said, I was trying to be objective, but I couldn't.
You're good.
I respect it.
All right, let's go to our commercial break, guys.
Artemis of the Dodecatheon is a fantastical whirlwind of action. Strong characters, mystery quests, and a lot of drama. 4.9 stars on Inkit. Purchase it on Amazon today.
Hey y'all. My topic for this week is about a California woman who was jailed on suspicion of causing her stillbirth. And her attorney says that prosecution for miscarriages will only get worse under the U.S. abortion crackdown. So what ended up happening was her name was Chelsea Baker, and she was struggling with addiction while she was pregnant. And because she didn't have enough money to get out of jail, she was in there for 16 months. And the attorney, because she was charged with murder, it wasn't even like, oh, and it's only going to get worse because apparently a lot of some drug addicts, when they find out they're pregnant, they get an abortion. They know they don't want the baby, or it's not for them. And if that does happen to where we can't have babies, they're either going to carry the baby and it's going to be a stillbirth, either way, or B, they're going to go behind the alley and get that, that hook from that hanger and get it pulled out, which means they're going to die too. And I don't understand what the big deal about the whole abortion. And then they're saying that with the bill they're trying to pass or try to undo, it's going to make more people, do things, or not people, people do things that, back alley things. So instead of progressing, we're actually going back into the past where females just can't have that. And the worst thing about it is that if that happens, or when, because we don't know, I just feel like, have you guys ever seen that handmaiden? That's what it feels like we're going back to.
Yeah.
I feel like our society is trying to do the whole handmaiden, and it was made up from these guys who thought, if it comes to that, I am so leaving.
Yeah.
I will live in the middle of the ocean on a boat, and I will figure out how to make some food on there.
Oh, yeah.
Every day, let's go. But no, they tried to they tried to charge her $2 million. Yes, $2 million. That was her post bail. And then it was finally dropped. So she was free last in 2021. So last year she was free. But she's saying that it's a national trend that is gaining pregnant people after stillbirth and miscarriages. So they're trying to really make sure that, oh, you miscarriage? Oh, you must have did something wrong. You murdered your child. Or stillbirth? Oh, you did something. You murdered your child. And like my mom, she had a stillbirth, and it wasn't her fault. Like the heart just stopped beating. And if this would have happened, she probably would have been considered, going to jail. And with the price of how much it costs to bail them out, it's crazy.
Yeah. So this is like how I said in our previous topic. Why are we so worried about other people and things that do not affect us? Why does this matter if somebody had a stillbirth, if they had an abortion, if they had a miscarriage? Does this affect you? Because I'm going to tell you one thing. Most of these senators that are coming out with these bills and these laws about banning abortion and arresting women who lose their children, when those kids, the kids that you're trying to save, grow up, you won't even be alive. Y'all are already in your 80s. You ain't about to live to 100, I promise you. They're not going to be your constituents at all. So for them to be so concerned about the birth rates and all of that, like, who cares? Why? Like, let's worry about the kids that are already here, the ones that are in the foster system, the ones that parents are actually fucking killing them. Let's worry about that, because y'all are worried about the wrong things. You need to be worried about the fact that a man went to a school and killed 19, 20 kids. Okay. Be worried about that. Stop being worried about our uteruses and our whether or not the babies lived or died. Okay. Stop it. Because it's getting to the point where it's too much. Because, like, why are we arresting women for this? Because, like, people with endometriosis, PCOS, like Jaden's wife, we have miscarriages because of our conditions, because these cysts can affect how we carry our children. And you telling me that you're going to arrest me because I couldn't hold my child in my uterus? That's stupid. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, I think this is where I actually agree with you. I think this shit is crazy. Like, why are they worried about this? It's like we're worried about so much things that like you said, it doesn't affect anybody. And then I look at it overall, like the big picture is it makes it worse. It's the same way I feel about escorts. Like, so you make all these laws, what's going to end up happening is two things. You're either going to have people like Nina said, go in the back door, which in turn is putting them in more danger, or you're going to have kids with kids. You're going to have kids making kids, people making kids that are not ready for kids. And then you just have a whole bad generation that's going to be there all because of these stupid laws you wanted to make because you're concerned about something else. Like, it's going to be a bad trickle-down effect, and we've only seen the beginning of it.
Yeah, this world's already fucked it with successfully fucking little young nugget rats, kids making all these damn kids. Like, it doesn't bother me, man. You need to make some laws that actually would actually help everyone instead of worry about, other shit. And besides, like, it's not the woman's fault if the baby heart rate dropped, and died, have still, it's sad. But at the same time, they didn't had the baby and then suffocate the baby or anything. Is already like, it passed already. Died when the wound came out. Like, that's not a law. You shouldn't get locked up for that. That's something that you can't control. It's just stupid, man. It's just, it's just dumb.
Yeah. All these personhood laws, they're only, like y'all been saying, their whole point is to keep women barefoot, pregnant, and petrified. So, like, from the 1970s all the way to 2020, there have been at least 1,600 cases of women who are being charged with manslaughter or murder for not an abortion, even not for pulling a Casey Anthony, but for miscarriages. And 1,200 of those happened in just the past 15 years. And it hasn't just been because, they detected something in the system to fetus. Like, women have been arrested over falling and having a stillbirth that way, or over having the birth at home instead of going to the hospital. So they're basically putting in a situation where instead of creating opportunities for women to seek help to have a healthy pregnancy, more people are going to be scared of being punished and dealing with our punitive ass justice system, and will end up in those back alleys, or we'll end up with a bunch of people who didn't want those kids, aren't fit for those kids, are kids raising kids. And it's, again, just more draconian, more backwards, more asinine bullshit.
Actually, it's funny, Nina. When I was looking this up, I think I looked up something further than what you bring up. You're talking about Chelsea Becker. I thought you were referring to Adora Perez, who Chelsea Becker's case was identical, and she's the reason Miss Perez got out of jail. She was sitting in jail. Her lawyer got her a manslaughter charge because the district attorney was going to hit her for murder and give her a life sentence. And basically based based on the circumstances of the case, she was technically guilty of what she was being charged with, but he was trying to at least give her a lesser charge, which then would allow for an appeal, was what he was trying to do, which is why Miss Perez was sitting in there for manslaughter. And the reason why Becker was being hit with manslaughter was because it was quite literally, Becker was also an addict, same as Miss Perez, same drug too, delivered at the same hospital. Like, I kid you not. Like, it's like the Cosmos was like, here, let me show you how dumb this is. I'm going to replicate the circumstances, watch you do something different. Now fix that. Like, yeah. I was mesmerized at how this all came together. I was blown away. I told Chelsea, my wife, and she was like, that was the universe at work right there. Literally, there was like, you got one more shot to fix this. And thank God both these women are okay now. But what really got me thinking was, I worry about, because my thing is, I'm pro-choice. I believe we all have the right to choose what we do with our lives. Now, if you're not willing to live with the consequences of your choices, like you're running for them or you're throwing the responsibility onto somebody else, that I have a problem with. However, if we are educating kids to not only respect one another, boys respecting girls, girls respecting boys, respecting each other's bodies, respecting each other's individuality and agency, we probably would start seeing a drop in youth pregnancies, because now we understand, hey, there's a certain level of, I need to respect who you are as a person, instead of just looking at you like I have no sense of anything other than primal instinct. Like, it's shrinking, it's getting younger. My sister was in middle school and I had to grab an elementary school boy off of her in a laundromat when I was a sophomore in high school. I kid you not, I've seen how crazy boys are not taught at all how to deal with their urges. They're thought, oh no, it's manly for you to feel this way. And I pulled him off. I scared the dickens out of him because he thought I was a guy. I grabbed him up, held him in the air, and I was like, and I told my sister to get out of the laundry room, because we were in an apartment. And I was like, what the hell do you think you're doing? And he was all like, stay out of this, ain't your thing, dude. And I went, that's my sister. And unless you want your kneecaps to stay intact, you better rephrase that.
Yeah.
And then I found out, he's like, you can't do that. I'm only in 5th grade. And I went, okay, I'm losing respect for you. Like, I'm like, what kid? Now I'm just going, do you know what you just did?
I understand that. Because my daughter went to 7-Eleven, which is like maybe 10 minutes walking. And when she was walking back home from 7-Eleven, the boys asked her, hey, do you want to fuck? And then she didn't say nothing because she was ignoring them. They're like, well, we'll take that as a yes.
And see, that's getting, no.
Like
and I will say it's because these kids are being introduced to it so young. I mean, there's nothing wrong with sex ed, but I think that they have to be in that mindset to be able to actually, understand it and not be like, okay, let me just act out what I've just learned in this class. But we have to go to our next commercial break, you guys.
Artemis of the Dodecatheon is a fantastical whirlwind of action, strong characters, mystery quests, and a lot of drama. 4.9 stars on Inkit. Purchase it on Amazon today. A to Z Creations is a Black woman-owned business that creates customized items such as rolling trays, clothing, tumblers, glasses, bags, jewelry, and more.
So I gotta bring the ones that make you think. So the topic now is, why in today's world are people so quick to pick up a camera before they actually do something? This is my topic because it's something that I joke about with my friends. If I'm a go-getter, I'm a mover, I'm a tactical man. So it bothers me a lot. And I feel like, we say all this stuff about the police this, police that, and it frustrates me because on the same note, you're right. And we should be able to police ourselves to a certain extent. But the issue is we live in a world that everybody is so quick to grab a camera. I watched a video a while back, and I wish I had it so we can show it real quick. But it was a lady pretty much going insane in the liquor store and was taking the liquor off the bottles and slamming them and stuff. Everybody was quick just to sit there and watch. Pull out a video camera. It was a couple different shots from different angles. And I'm like, so you figure if it's, say, 5 people in the store, 2 people recording, between everybody there, y'all could have stopped this lady. You could have subdued this lady into the instead of just watching. And then I feel so bad for the owner because me being in businesses like that, I'm looking at the video and I'm like, oh my Lord, that's just money over money over money that they've lost in a couple of minutes when bystanders could have stopped it, where they could have been like, hold up, this not going down. I've seen the social media videos where they're doing experiments with people getting raped or somebody hitting a female or just dumb stuff. And you will see how many people are, and you're making a face in this, and that's how it got me. Because you will watch so many people walk right past them, won't say nothing, won't do nothing. And I'm like, where's our mentality these days?
Yeah. I can tell you what our mentality is. Everybody want to go viral. Let's be real. Everybody wants to go viral. So instead of being a person with empathy and care and compassion, we're just sitting around like, oh, world star. Like, remember, like for like years, all you ever heard behind some videos was world star, world star, world star, because everybody wanted to be like that person that caught this incident that, they could have helped or stopped, like fights and stuff. Because like, okay, if y'all don't know, look, I like to look at gore. Okay. I like gore. I like looking at it. Yeah. Yeah. I like it. I'm fascinated with things, brains and shit like that. You will see a lot of times in like other countries that they don't help. It was literally a video of a couple who had an accident and the guy's lower half was kind of separated, but his girlfriend had already passed and he was trying to crawl to her and everybody just was looking. But from what I was told, in those countries, you're not supposed to help. You're not supposed to give aid because they'll be charged with the medical bills. And they don't, especially if you're poor, you don't want to be charged with that. So in that effect, in that situation, I can see how, they aren't really eager to be like, no, and help and try to, do a tourniquet or something. But I do see here, you need we need to stop it. We need to stop pulling out our cameras every time something crazy is happening because it's not healthy for our brains. to just be like, okay, instead of, helping this person who's being slung around and getting ready to get hit by a bus, let me just record, because I swear I'm gonna get about 1,000 or 1,000,000 likes on TikTok or Instagram. Who cares about these social medias? I do not care about the social medias. That's why you don't really see me like, oh, let me film this. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like, that's so kiddie.
Yeah.
Like, grow up.
I agree with you. Also, like certain situation, it's called mind your fucking business. That's what people want to do too. It's because you don't know what's gonna happen. Like situation I have seen a while ago is that a man and a girl was arguing. A man jumped and tried to save the girl. Don't know what the hell's going on. The guy left, came around and shot him. Why? Mind your fucking business. That's what some people is. It's also called a bystander situation too as well, whereas though people just don't want to be involved or the consequences might happen. Like, oh shit, this guy see me. What if he brings somebody to hurt me for being involved? You don't know what's going on, like situation, you don't know if that person owe that person money and it's been years and whatever, and they finally caught him like, you owe me money. You never know what happened. So when they doing something tragic and you get involved, so now you're a part of it. You get what I'm saying? So that's why some people just feel though like, I don't want nothing to do. But same situation. If you're gonna sit there and record, why don't you help? You probably feel the same way other people is. Like, I don't want to be parts of it. I'm gonna mind my business. I'm gonna mind my business. I don't see anything. People could be like, they want to help out, but when it's really actually the situation, your whole demeanor, everything changes. So you don't know what happened. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you don't know what the person got on them. Just like driving or whatever case it be, you don't know what a person have on them, what they're gonna do. So the best thing is for you to do is have evidence and mind your business. It's sad, but like, let's be real. Like, you don't know.
No, I was gonna say, I think multiple things are at play, especially since, like, for example, like Queen Pedii said, the world star era. That is one thing, but also just like you just said, Kenny, some people, for them, minding their business is just, I'm gonna take a record, I'm gonna take evidence, and like, especially in a pics or it didn't happen type of generation, or we had to actually put body cams on our police because the justice system was just like, video didn't happen. I can't believe that it was police brutality unless I see it. And then even with seeing it, people still get off, but at least other people are like, oh, this is real. Niggas aren't just lying and making shit up. So I think there's multiple things in play. Like, I sometimes think about, like, for example, Eric Garner or the George Floyd situation. Well, how surreal it must be to like be looking up, being choked to death, and like see people around recording, no one intervening, and having that dual sense that on one hand, you're begging in your mind for people to help, but at the same time, you know what it's like to be Black. And like, if you intervene and there's cops around, that person's just gonna be stopped. They're also now in the shit. They're also in the mix. They're also obstructing justice and stuff like that. So sometimes the best thing to do is record, and like, homie isn't going to jail without that recording out there of him literally being on someone's neck for nearly 9 minutes. So I think it's definitely a dual thing. And for example, the situation I had this past weekend, Saturday night, when I was coming back from picking up food for to deliver to community fridge, and also for the tablings that we do for mutual aid, I was coming back, and one of my homeless comrades, he's like, oh, look, this guy, he's down on the ground, like he's praying, and the guy was passed out. And like, I just like, oh shit, this don't look good. And I went down and I we went and picked him up, and then people who also knew us was passing by at the same time. I was like, yo, call 911 while I'm holding dude's head up and rubbing his back. And if we didn't do that, like, it was looking like my homie, the homeless homie, he was saying that he was looking through the ambulance window, and he was like, they were looking like it was touch and go for a minute when it was trying to revive dude. And so if we didn't all collectively play our different roles, this man could have died. And it makes me think back to when I was 10 and we was going to church to deliver food for a potluck. and a shootout happened around the corner. And my mom, who's a nurse, she immediately heads over there to see who might need medical attention. While there's a kid just kind of like don't. She's telling me to go aside, but I don't want to leave her, and something happened to her. But I'm like, I'm 10. What do I do? So I think there's also that element of people don't know what to do, and they don't want to be involved and then mess things up more or be in the middle of the shit, be in the thick of it. And so I think more people need to see what they can do and train themselves to be better equipped to help. But if the safest thing for you to do is record or call the police, record, do what you can. Get other people involved if you have to.
I actually was vibing on everything you were saying, Tryst, but there's also another layer that I was going to bring up. We live in a generation that has short-term memory, and they think they need to record something to remember it. People are living through their phones. I remember watching, ironically, it was an anime, and there were these people like they were all going out camping, and they saw this other like group of people that were camping too. Like they're like, oh yeah, we're enjoying our camping experience. I mean, it's a high school term. What are you gonna do? But they saw these other people that are just so obsessed with taking photos of everything. And these other people are like, hey, you want to go fishing with us?
Yeah.
And they're literally recording other people fishing, and they're not even touching like the rods that they offered to them. And I was literally, and the person, their chaperone that was with them was going, it's really sad that they have to live on this side of the camera instead of this side. And it makes me think, because I don't like being on social media as it is with my mental health. I dissociate, I lose time, and sometimes I won't even remember what I was watching. So I try not to be on it as much, but I understand where a lot of people, this is their life. They think they're traveling the world, seeing videos around the world. They think they're vicariously living through these images. I think that's another reason why a lot of people they're latching on to live action adaptations, because they're like, oh, I feel like I can submerge into it. It's like, no, you submerged into the cartoon. You did, trust me. But they're so hyper focused on this phone, like the phone almost controls them. So I remember watching one where this police officer, this woman actually like started chucking stuff at a police car. Like he was just parked there. I guess he'd gotten his coffee at the gas station, and she comes barreling out of the 7-Eleven, and she's just wailing on the police car. And he's like, what the? And people just started recording it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this cop literally didn't do anything. Yeah. But then the guy on the camera is talking to the chick saying, lady, stop fighting. Lady, stop fighting. I'm like, you could have stopped her before the cop ever had to get out of the car. Because for a while, the guy's partner came out and was like, what's going on? And the guy in the car's like, I don't want to get out of the car. Like, and the guy had to restrain her. And then she's screaming bloody murder, that she's being suppressed, she's being assaulted. And the guy on the camera is like, lady, you crazy, lady, you crazy. And I'm like, you could have done something. What are you doing? This doesn't even need to be on the internet.
It doesn't.
Like, you're not helping anything. Yeah. So, I mean, and my wife actually showed it to me, and she was like, what is next?
Yeah.
What is going on anymore? Like, we don't know what to believe anymore.
Yeah.
And like all these different viewpoints, everybody's recording something. You want your fame? Well, now you're showing it's like Flashpoint, the movie Flashpoint, where it's like you got all these different perspectives. No one knows what to believe.
Right.
And so they just got to pick something that might have not been the right perspective. So I think it's a bit of a concern. Honestly, I told you, how many times have I told you stories about how I jumped in? I'm with you, Glenn. I'm over here going,
well, I like you, my man.
Like, oh my God, like I've helped my sister out. I remember I actually like had to go grab a closet rod. And I was chasing this guy. He did not live in our neighborhood, and he came to a block party and was bothering people at our neighborhood block party. I went and grabbed a closet rod, and I just because I happen to know how to wield it. And I just whirled it around my arm and I went, "What do you think you're doing?"
Yeah.
And the guy was like, "Oh, you want to fight?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, you're unarmed."
I have the closet.
I kid you not, I still have the closet rock.
Yeah, and Jaden, I love your mentality, man, and that's why I like you. And I honestly think kind of what the other people were saying is I think that's just it's an excuse sometimes, and it's a mentality of different people. Like me and Jaden's mentality, I can see it's kind of the same. Like I'm on the bus the other day, and this guy wanted to get off at the stop, but it kept going. Basically, issue ended up happening with the bus driver and the guy. Big scene. Bus driver stopped the bus, get up, big fight. So in my head, it's not grabbing a camera. In my head, I'm like, okay, I don't know the mind that these people are in. I don't know if someone's about to pull a gun. So I need to ready myself to either duck, get out the way, intervene and stop. There's other people on the bus. I may need to jump into action and help somebody. Like that's what I've been thinking. People bring up these cameras, they become blind. They become fixed into their camera. So now when stuff happens, they don't know how to react. So then when you get a bullet in your head, it's like, oh, well, man, he died. No, we actually had a chance to walk out the door. He just didn't see that chance because he was too focused on recording it. I'm a video photographer too. So I'm all down with the cameras. They have their place. Yes. And I get somebody has to capture the scene, but there's dangers that come with that too, because in a lot of these police brutality, you see a piece of the video. Black Lives Matter, this is why I hate it, comes into it. We make it a race thing, but you never saw the whole picture. You never saw the argument between the guy and the cop. You never understood the cop's fear because the cop, it's a whole picture that you don't see that video does not capture.
Yeah.
I know I wish I didn't have to do this to you, Kenny, but we got to go to the next topic. I'm sorry. All right.
You get in the after show.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Artemis of the Dodecatheon is a fantastical whirlwind of action, strong characters, mystery quests, and a lot of drama. 4.9 stars on Inkit. Purchase it on Amazon today. A to Z Creations is a Black woman-owned business that creates customized items such as rolling trays, clothing, tumblers, glasses, bags, jewelry, and more.
So the last topic will be, what is a good friend, and do you consider yourself as a good friend? So in my terms, I believe some of them don't believe I'm a good friend because I'm too blunt and I tell it like it is, which I feel as though you should keep those type of people in your life because it's very rare. Also, I'm the type of person, like I'm there for my friends no matter their good accomplishment, but I am more heavy there when you're down. You say, what's the matter? You want me to come? All right, I'll be there. What happened? Oh, I'll be there. You know, I will be there when you're down in your darkest moment. I may not say the right thing at the right time, but physically I'm there. Maybe not mentally because I have to let everything kick in, but I'm physically there. You know what I'm saying? And some people feel as though you're not there for them. But if you're actually there and you drop what you're doing to be there for them, like you gotta get up. Like, come on, let's go. Like you gotta be not you gotta be like a little cheerleader. Like, come on, you got this, come on, let's go. You gotta be their hype man. But some people don't look at it like you're there for them. They look at it like you wasn't there for them. Like, how the hell am I supposed to be there? Like in your brain, I'm physically there. So put me on the level that you at. Like, I'm only there because you called me crying, you just lost your job, you got hurt, or anything of that. That's what I physically know because you told me and I hear in your voice. But mentally, I'm not there. I can't, you can't get mad at me because I'm not mentally there for you. You have to bring me to that level. And if I can't get to that level, guess what? That's in the past. Let's work on your present and the future. Let's go out. Let's be there. If you keep dwelling on your past, you're not gonna go nowhere in the future. You know what I'm saying? So you have to. That's just the type of friend I am. I'm always gonna be there for you. I could be dead in my sleep. Yeah, what's up? All right, you want me to come? All right, I made it. Might take me a while. I'm there. Usually people be like, man, just whatever. They hang up or they're not. They MIA. But then, that's the difference because I'm there when you need me. I'm not there when you want me. I'm there when you need me. It's a big difference. Yeah. So I would like to know you guys.
Yeah. I feel the same way. Like I'm very loyal to my friends. I've had some really shitty ass friends and they know exactly who they are. If they ever see this episode, you know exactly who you are.
Yeah.
You do. Okay. So, I'm sorry, I ain't have to do all that. Yes, I did. Anyway, so, what I consider a good friend is someone who, yes, loyal, can care, can have compassion, can have empathy, doesn't try to tear you down when you're having accomplishments, doesn't, it's going to celebrate your accomplishments. Like my god sister, anything she tells me that is like an accomplishment in her life, I am excited for her. I'm excited for any of my friends who accomplished something. I'm sitting here like, I'm so proud of you because that is truly and genuinely how I feel because I am proud of y'all. When I see them creating businesses, publishing the books, like I am proud. And I'm going to let you know that, and I'm going to tell y'all a story of like one of my old friends that I don't talk to no more. Anyway, so we went to get a tattoo, right? And I got my tattoo. It did not hurt. My tattoo artist was like, for your first time and getting a tattoo as big as you did and where you got it, took it like a G. I was super excited because I literally was so scared when I first walked in there. And I was kind of, celebrating myself, like after, she had gotten hers and she flinched a lot. So I was celebrating myself and she was like, you did flinch. And I'm like, bitch, like, okay, why are you so? When in reality, I didn't flinch. It actually just felt like a vibration with me. It did not hurt. So she was that type of person to be like an ass. And it took until quarantine to realize that that person was not my friend. And they stopped talking to me, her and another person, and they lied on me and said that I wasn't coming around, when in reality, they were not inviting me anywhere. I didn't even get invited to my god sister's graduation or the party. Didn't get told nothing. So they know exactly who they are. They know who they are. But I'm the type of person, I'm not going to do all that to you. And then they got mad about tarot reading, child. But karma's a bitch. All right, who's next?
Oh man, I love you, Queen. I love you. And the ironic thing is, look how the universe did it. It brought two people together that it wouldn't, and I could say she's been you've been an awesome friend to me. And a friend to me is we have had long conversations. I know you're tired and you stayed up till 12, 1 o'clock and just me running my mouth. And that's what a friend is, man. It's through the thick and through the thin. You know, even when we're frustrated, even when we don't agree, you're there. You know, I got a brother, Derek, that, I mean, we've been through hell together. And we know that we need somebody, whether it be good or bad, I can count on him. You know, even to the point where we're having a conversation one time, and his girlfriend didn't understand when he was like, yeah, I was going through something with those exact two people that we're talking about, and we were ready to run it up. And he has the AR-15. He has some A-Drains loaded, and I'm ready to go. And she was like, oh, you want to like throw everything on the line for him? You got a kid? He was like, hell yeah, because that's my friend. We ride together, we die together. And if he's in trouble, I'm loaded and ready to go. So luckily, thank God we ain't had to go there, but man, that's what a friend is for.
All right, who's next?
So for me, I definitely think I'm a good friend. And I've had situations where I've jumped in front of guns or gunmen to protect my friends, protect people that I truly love. However, I do think it's important to understand, one, what is a friend, and also which friends you can do what with. Because I wouldn't, listen, if it came down to a split second and I had to do something, I had to do something. But ain't everybody worth sacrificing yourself for. I don't want to be a martyr for just anybody. And at the same time, also with friends, there's those people who I'm friends with, who I can vibe with on a certain level, but like, I know their mindset, so I know if I'm being real with them, they're not gonna get it. And there's other people where we can argue till day is blue because we both come from different things, but I know at the end of the day, they're at least sincere with who they are and what they think, and I know I'm getting the real from them. So I can at least appreciate that, even if I'm like, what are you talking about? So at the end of the day, I think it's very important to understand your friendships and understand what the balance is, because if there's unbalance, it's gonna drive a wedge in regardless. And how to be real with each other and also understand each other's boundaries.
I find it interesting that this topic gets brought up. I actually, yesterday was a bit of an emotional day for me. It was the anniversary of my father's passing.
Sorry. Yeah.
And I was thinking about it. It's been 7 years now. And I was thinking, like, how proud would he be of me right now? Like, how much of what he wanted for me, the goals and ambitions he was telling me that he wanted me to do, are coming to fruition now. And I realized he was my first best friend. And he taught me not only what it means to be a man or just a human being, a decent person. He was the first person who told me, if you're not Christian, then what are you? And I went, what do you mean? And he was like, there's more than just Christianity. And I went, what?
Like, that's dope.
Like, he promoted, like, hey, you may be different from me, but that doesn't invalidate you. Like, he challenged me to be a better person. And something that I was thinking about when this topic, I was like, well, how am I going to bring this topic up? I was going to, like, how's Kenny going to present this? And I thought about it and I went, wait a minute, what am I always telling people? I consider myself to be a very loyal friend. Now, whether that makes me a good friend or not is variable, because some people don't want a loyal friend. Some people want somebody who's going to enable bad behavior. I will never enable my friend to have bad behavior. I actually snatched up a friend's phone from her because she was sexting with another friend who was going through a relationship issue just so she could jump in his pants. And I snatched her phone and I went, you know damn well he and her are in a rough spot. This is not the time for you to be doing that. And she was like, give me my phone.
The Winchester
I was like, yeah, but I ain't gonna let you ruin my boy. That's my wingman. That's my wingman. You are not messing with my wingman. Oh, heck no.
Yeah.
You need to figure your own head out. And she actually drove a wedge between me and a lot of friends. And I found out who my real friends were, because shortly after that, my wife actually had a horrible spike in her polycystic ovarian. For a while, she thought she was bipolar, but then later on, she found out about the hormonal side effects of polycystic. Unfortunately, our roommates at the time sided with this friend of ours, and they actually drove a wedge between us. We had barely been married a year, and I got kicked out. I found out who my real friends were because I called up the first people I could think of was Chelsea's not okay. Who do I need to call? And I called up and I had people come and they were like, hey, meet me at the garage. We'll sit with your car. We'll find you some place to go. And they were like, we'll find a way to get through to Chelsea because I knew Chelsea was not okay. Yeah. And they were like, no, we have y'all's back. We know you. We've been with you since high school. We know who you are. These people are not okay. Yeah. And that's where we like, do not enable bad behavior. Call me when I'm wrong. Yeah. When I'm in the wrong, call me on it. That's what a real friend is. And honestly, that's where we should be because love does not love will never let you walk down that wrong road.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right, let's go to our last commercial break.
Artemis of the Dodecatheon is a fantastical whirlwind of action, strong characters, mystery quests, and a lot of drama. 4.9 stars on Inkit. Purchase it on Amazon today. A to Z Creations is a Black woman-owned business that creates customized items such as rolling trays, clothing, tumblers, glasses, bags, jewelry, and more.
All right, you guys, it is that time for our promotions. We are going to let our guests go first. Go ahead.
Alrighty, hello everybody. I am Alleyn Winchester. I have actually just released my debut novel. I mean, that's how I came to this awesome channel. Artemis of the Dodecatheon is actually available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble in ebook, paperback, and hardcover. You can, I'll have a link that you can access them there. I'm really looking to get some reviews so I can tell other people why you should be reading my book. I also have a Patreon where I'm also delving into storytelling, the roots, and how it connects us as people. I call it mythic storytelling, where I actually go over my actual stories and how they apply in a mythic format, which is how a lot of epic storylines like Star Wars, Star Trek, a lot of the things that we love about movies and things like that, it breaks down to this formula and I show you how I harnessed it. I actually have a goal going on right now. I call it my buy a cup of coffee a day, which is at least one of my $5 patron levels. I'm trying to get 30 patrons to match that cup of coffee a day. So I'll also have my Patreon link there. I'm really looking to try and get those up because with the day job, it's hard to balance Patreon, writing, and my day job. So if I have those patrons coming in, that allows me to have more money so I can pay people like, hey, come help me out. So yeah, I'll have all my links available for you guys to find me at.
All right. So as you guys know, I am doing a fundraiser for walking 31 miles in June with my doggy. And it is for the charity Kennel's Couch. They are trying to get dogs into loving homes. So you'll see pictures of my awesome little doggy, Rampet, in her awesome bandana. We've already gotten 1.3 miles. So yay. All right. Yes. So also, I'm here to promote Boxy, a home decor subscription service that ships beautiful items once a month to your home. If you hate going to the store and not being able to decide on what to get out of all the choices, then this is definitely the subscription box for you. Use my code 10OFF Queen Pedii. That's also linked below in the description box to get $10 off the first box. Next, I want to promote my book, A Puppy Journey, Rempet's World. It's about my emotional support animal and how she saw the world through her eyes. You can purchase it on Amazon for Kindle. Last, I want to promote my blog, Queen Pedii Writes. You can find articles, craft videos, reviews, and more.
Hey y'all, it's Karina, and I want to promote my beauty candles. They smell really good. They're natural. I make them. So, and I also make pillows and soaps and a lot of other stuff. So just hit me up, email me again. Just hit me up.
Hey y'all, it's your boy Tryst, right in the thick of it. And y'all know I'll be doing things with East Village Mutual Aid. Every Sunday now, we are basically doing a potluck for the community around the Lower East Side area of Manhattan, near Thompson Square Park. If you're in the area, come support. If you want to donate, my Cashapp will be in the link. And if you have suggested recipes, hit us up on Discord, hit me up. Also, speaking of potlucks, BelieveNewYork, a charity I'm with, is also doing a volunteer appreciation potluck this coming Saturday on June 11th from 1 to 3 p.m. on the Great Lawn in Central Park. So come enjoy food, find out what we're doing, find out how we help people in the community, and come take part. And then also real quick, I wanted to further promote Alleyn Winchester's, Jaden's Patreon, because I've taken a class with him already. I've taken a session with him, and I'm going to be taking another session with him this month, because just that one session has already helped me think about how to build a roadmap to my story. And this is a published author right here, and their book, Armistice Dodecatheon, I said that wrong, I'm sorry, is amazing, and I can't wait to read the whole series, and I want people to feel that way about my writing. So if you're creative, if you have stories to tell, this is the person to hit up and find out how to tell mythic story writing right.
You know who it is, and here again, Visually in Focus, looking for clients. So if you DM us on the Instagram, we'll definitely get back to you, hopefully within 24 hours, and we can set something up. Also on my TikTok and YouTube, you can still check out my video, Taking Off, because I'm taking off, trying to get to higher places in life. Ain't nobody stopping you but yourself. So definitely check that out. And I'll catch you soon.
All right. So this week, well, Friday, I'll be promoting 3 of the bodysuits. Right now we got 3 of our models coming in. This is something new, so I'm trying to bear with everything. But yeah, we're gonna have 3 models, 3 different styles, colors, in new colors. If anything, if you have a color in mind that fits your particular skin tone and makeup, things you like to wear, just hit me up, message me on Possibility Clothing. I'll message you back within 24 hours from the time you message me to get your idea. I love good ideas and be more creative. I like a unique style. So if you got a unique style, just message us at awesomability.clothing.
All right, so make sure you guys hit up our link tree to get to our Discord, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Subscribe, like us, share it. Comments. We love to see your comments, so keep that up. And don't forget to see our after show at 9 p.m. All right.
Bye.
Adios.
This is not your normal session.